So another week has passed. This week marked exactly 3 months that I have lived in Panama, which is kind of a weird thought to think about, because on one hand, it feels like I've been here forever, and it's like, 3 months, what? And then on the other hand, I'm like, I just got here. Like, I've barely been in my community a month. Or actually, I haven't even been in my community a month. This coming week will mark a month. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. So, this week was an interesting week. First I'm gonna tell, like, I'm not gonna start from Monday. I'm gonna start on Sunday. Because I have to tell you what I did today. Because my Sunday went completely different than I thought it was gonna go. Here's how I thought my Sunday was gonna go. I was gonna get up, I was gonna go have a water committee meeting with the upper water committee, and then I was gonna go visit Jessica, which is my community guide, and also kind of my best friend here in the community, and whatnot. And I was gonna go visit her, and we're probably gonna hang out, eat lunch, kind of just lazily, be on Sunday, maybe go visit a couple extra houses, go visit some of her family, whatever. Okay, so, I already told you in the last video about time in Panama, so you'll know why I showed up exactly at 10 for a 10 a.m. meeting of water committee, which also I thought was weird anyway, to be having a 10 a.m. water committee meeting on a Sunday in a town where church starts at, 10 o'clock. So, I didn't quite understand, but I was like, y'all make the decision, I just show up. Because I told y'all have a meeting, anything, I'll just show up. And whatnot. So, I get up, I eat breakfast, I go to the rancho, which is, a rancho is just like a pavilion, basically. And it's like the community meeting space. There are no chairs, no walls, no nothing. But it's the community meeting space. So, show up there at 10. No one's there. I'm not surprised. So, I was like, I'm just gonna wait here. And if by 10:30 no one's here, I know where one of the community members' houses is, and it's pretty close. I'll just go to her house and see what's going on. So, about like 10:20ish, the president walks by. And I'm like, hey, Felix, why aren't you here? Where is everyone? And he was like, oh, the meeting got moved to Tuesday. And I was like, oh, it did? And I was like, why did no one tell me? He's like, oh, Lolo didn't come and tell you. Lolo is a guy who was in my community. And I was like, no, Lolo didn't say anything. He's like, oh, yeah, it's Tuesday at 9 a.m. now. I'm like, okay. So, moved past that. I was like, Jessica's house is right across the street. I'll just go to her house. So I go over there, and she was like, I thought you had your meeting. I was like, yeah, so did I. And she was like, what happened? So I tell her what happened. She's like, I can't believe they didn't tell you. I was like, yeah, they didn't, but it's okay. Gonna move on. She was kind of frustrated. I was not gonna lie, I was kind of frustrated in that moment too. But it is what it is. I can't change it. It's not my committee. I'm just a random passerby. But whatever. So, hang out at her house. She cooks me breakfast. Even though I had breakfast in my house, but I just had like a slice of bread and an egg. And so she made me pancakes and eggs, and her pancakes are so good. So in the States I didn't really eat pancakes much. I was much more a waffle person, but you take what you can get, and pancakes are pretty good. Her pancakes are. Some people's pancakes, you need to go to pancake making school. And yeah. So she made me pancakes and eggs. It's pretty good. And we're just hanging out, passing the time. Her daughter was down visiting her aunt and whatnot, so it was just her and me, chilling, watching random videos and watching TV. And so then she was like, hey, you want to come with me to go visit some family later? I was like, sure, yeah, I got nothing planned anymore, like, you know, whatever. Thinking this was going to be a normal thing. No, it wasn't. And if you've already read my Facebook status or just message with me, here's like the more in-depth story of what happened. And whatnot. So, sat there and eventually her daughter came back, and then some of her, like, her aunt and her cousins show up and their kids, and everybody's got these buckets. And buckets here are used primarily for water storage, just because when there's no water in the community, you need buckets to store your water, so that you have enough to survive. Yeah, so I see them with these buckets, and I'm like, okay, maybe like the family that we're visiting doesn't have water, so we gotta like go to the Cape Rada or something. What do I know? And then they've also got like pots and pans to cook with. I'm like, well, maybe there's like a lot of people gonna be there and they don't have enough for whatever. I don't know. This is their shindig. I just really kind of follow along most of the time. Actually, all of the time. And whatnot. And so everybody gets there and we start walking up the road. Well, we passed where all of the family that I know of lives, and I'm like, where are we going? And they're like, oh, we're going up by the cemetery. I'm like, okay, I don't know any houses up there, but okay. And it's kind of far. So we keep walking and walking and walking, because the cemetery is not close. And whatnot. And at the cemetery, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to go down this path. And I think, okay, there's going to be a house down there. Well, we come upon this rancho. Again, pavilion thing. And everybody stops. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we're just like resting for a minute before we go on. Because I mean, we had walked pretty far. And we had little kids with us. Like, I guess he's probably like maybe 15 months old baby, and then like a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old, or 2 8-year-olds, probably a 5-year-old. We had a bunch of kids with us, and whatnot. So thought we were just resting. And then they're like, they send the teenagers and some of the older kids down to the Cape Rada to get water. I'm like, okay. And then they start building a fire pit to cook on. And I'm like, oh no, we're not going anywhere. This is the house we're visiting. And some of her other family had come and whatnot. And we're in a field of yucca on incline, because that's how you breed yucca, not breed, grow, my bad. Words are hard. And so yeah, so it's on an incline, because we've climbed down a hill now. We worked up a hill to get to the cemetery, and now we're down a hill to get down to this rancho. So one of the ladies goes into the woods, or into the yucca field, to machete some yucca, and whatnot. So I gather, hey, we're going to be having yucca for lunch. Not my favorite, but not the worst thing in the world to eat. And it's not rice, so, you know, take what you can get. And whatnot. So while she's doing that, they've built a fire pit or they're called fagones. They've built a fagone here, and it's getting started boiling the water. And then I see Jessica's mom, her name is Maria, she's cutting chicken. And I saw her cutting chicken feet, and I thought, oh, she's got a whole chicken, because they don't waste any part of the chicken here. Like, all of it's going to get cooked, and so you might end up with a drumstick or a thigh, no, or you might end up with the chicken feet. You just never know. And And so I was like hoping at that moment, like, please don't let me get the chicken foot, because I don't want that. And then I realized, oh no, she's not just cutting 1 or 2 chicken feet. She has the whole thing is nothing but chicken feet. Because this is going to be a little gross, and I'm sorry if you don't like this. My mom didn't like me when I was telling the story. But when you cook chicken feet, then you have to cut off the nails. And so there's just like this pile of chicken nails on the ground, which, sorry for that imagery. And whatnot, because it's like, just like imagine like cutting off this part of your finger, and then the rest of it's going to be eaten. Okay, that's what they're doing to these chicken feet. So we did that, put those on to cook, and then I got the yuca going. So in the interim, there are 3 16-year-olds with us. The one's definitely 16, and the other 2, they look about her age. And I think they're her friends, or maybe they're cousins, who knows, a lot of people are related here. And so they had like a Bluetooth speaker and were playing music, and at first they were just like dancing and singing in their seat, but then eventually they got up and started doing these like choreographed dances, which I got a couple videos of, which I will eventually post. And whatnot to entertain us. And then I was laying in a hammock, and just all the while thinking, this is my life now, because this is my life. I just randomly say, hey, I'm going to go with you, not really asking me any questions, just kind of, and it always sounds very innocuous, like, oh, you want to go with me to visit some family? Okay, that sounds pretty like, we're gonna, I mean, of course, I made the assumption in my mind that we were going to a house to visit people, and whatnot, but, you know, whatever. Doesn't always turn out like you planned. And that's how my life goes here in Panama. That's how I ended up randomly in a Catholic parade. That's how I ended up doing this. That's how I ended up doing a lot of things. People will be like, oh, do you want to come to this thing? And I'm like, sure. You know, Peace Corps is about experiencing new things and not really, you know, like, you can say no, but like, you know, why not have the experience? And so, thinking, okay, I'm gonna go visit some family, meet some new people maybe. Yeah, about that. So, yeah, fun times. But yeah, so that's how my Sunday went. Pretty good day, but still, just really funny. As far as the rest of my week, so I've been passe-ing more and getting to know more people. One day, Thursday, Jessica and I went up the hill, because like I live halfway up a hill, and normally like the majority of the community is down the hill and further away, so I go down and visit that way. But she was like, let's go up and visit these people. I'm like, okay. So we went up and visited those people. There's only probably like 7 or 8 houses up that way, so we were able to do that pretty quickly. Plus like 2 houses, like passe-ing is usually pretty popular here, where if you just show up to people's houses, they're fine with it. There was one lady, we were like, buenas, buenas. And at first we thought no one was there, but then we heard like a saw going in the back, or not saw, weed eater. I know that doesn't look like a weed eater, but in my mind it did. Yeah, so we hear a weed eater, so we know someone's here. And then she comes out and she like closes the door, which closed doors is not really a thing here in Panama. It's kind of like no one closes doors, if they have doors even, you know, because that's another thing. Doors are not common. And she just kind of like stands there awkwardly, and we like talk to her for a few seconds, and I'm like, okay, bye, because clearly you don't want visitors, which is fine. Like, it is what it is, but it's just, it was kind of out of the norm of Panama. And there was another house that was kind of similar situation, but they were a little more willing to have us. And that was when I found out about the water committee meeting, because we were passing at some of the water committee members' houses, and they were like, oh yeah, we have a meeting Sunday. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. Yeah. Wednesday I went with Griselda up to visit The guy's name is Victor. He's about the same age as me, and he lives in the community, but he lives like really far with his parents. They live kind of far out, and it's like, they call it the Camino because there's the main road through town road, and then if you like go off of that, there's this Camino which you can walk up to his house, but it takes about 45 minutes to get there. So we went up to visit him, and she showed me some other houses, but that's where a lot of the community members who live with other family members have their houses, and they don't actually live there. So she showed me a bunch of empty houses, and whatnot. And so we did that, got lots of steps in that day, because obviously we were traveling really far. Yeah, so did that on Wednesday, and then so good, had some hojaldre this week, which is the first time I've had hojaldre since I've been in my community. So good, I love it so much. And whatnot. And yeah, so did that. Okay, what else have I done this week? Oh, I did teach English on Tuesday, to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade class. I was supposed to teach it on Wednesday to the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade class, but school got canceled because Panama won and is now going to the World Cup. So that's the president declared it a holiday, and so all government employees, which includes teachers, had the day off, which meant there was no school. And so yeah, because only in Panama would they declare it a national holiday, and shut down government, because they're going to the World Cup. And as I explained to people here, that would never happen in the US. If we had happened to go, most people wouldn't have even noticed. And the people who did notice would be like, yeah, awesome, we're going. But life would continue on as normal, because it would never be declared national holiday because we were going to anything like that. But in Panama's defense, this is their first time to ever go to the World Cup. And I mean, they're a much smaller country, so things like that can happen. But yeah, so that was really interesting because we were listening to it Tuesday night because our TV was out, because so you can either get a satellite dish and just pay for cable monthly like you would do in the US, or you can buy these tarjetas, which are just like cards with money on them, and you use the TV until you use all the money on the card. And that's what my family does. So when the money runs out, until they go to town, or Pendo Bay as it's more commonly known, to buy saldo, which is the little tarjetas, we don't have TV. So we're listening to it on the radio, and like the announcer's voice when they scored in the last 10 minutes or so, at Panama being who scored, was like, if you're an Alabama fan and you've ever listened to Eli Gold, when Alabama was playing, it was like that. And it was hilarious. But yeah, so listen to that on Tuesday. And then everybody on Wednesday was like, aren't you mad because your country's not going to the World Cup? I'm like, honestly, until I moved here, I didn't even know the World Cup was next year. Or really anything about soccer except for don't use your hands, and there's a thing called a yellow card. But I'm not really sure how it all works. Because, even though my cousins played soccer growing up, I never really paid that much attention to the rules or watched that many games or anything like that. I'm really not that into soccer. And then I was trying to explain to them that, there's different sports for all Americans. And I'm into football, and other people are into soccer, and other people are into basketball. And then, there's all kinds of sports for Americans to get into. So you don't necessarily have to be into all of them. And they didn't understand that. So yeah. But that was, yeah. I'm trying to remember what I even did Monday or Tuesday. Obviously it was not that memorable because I have no recollection of it. I know I definitely taught Tuesday morning, but other than that, I don't remember what I did, or even what I did Monday. Yeah. It's definitely rained more this week, but not, like, everybody has talked about how October is like one of the worst months for the rainy season, and I haven't really seen it. Like, it's definitely rained every day, but it's been doing that every day during the rainy season, so I don't know. Maybe it's gonna get like Mas Fuerte at the end of the month or something. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see here. Saturday I went to Panome and used the Wi-Fi and was able to get a lot done on my computer, and also talked to Mom and Dad for a while. And then also went and bought me a machete, yeah, and a machete sharpener and some other things for my life here, and also bought more food, always important, and just in general had a pretty good day, just like being out of sight, getting some stuff done, and really just kind of relaxing. It's been a pretty interesting week, especially today. Yeah, and this week we've got a celebration at the school because it's the week of the farmer here in Panama, where they celebrate farming and farmers and things like that. So there'll be a celebration at the school on Friday, which I don't really know how, but I've signed up to help set up, so that's what I'm doing in the morning. Yeah, we'll see what they ask me to do and how that goes. Tuesday, I'm supposed to be teaching at the school, but also so to go to my meeting in the morning and then teach. So like my meeting's at 9, and I'm supposed to start teaching English at 11. So hoping that works out. And then also Wednesday afternoon I have to teach English at 12:30. And then to the other class. And then on Wednesdays, Griselda has now agreed to, because Wednesdays are like her day, her free day, she's agreed to kind of show me some more houses in the community, to meet more people. So, we will see how this week goes and how everything actually transpires, because these are the things that I think at the beginning of the week, this is what I'm going to be doing. And then by the end of the week, I'm like, yeah, this is nothing like what I thought it was. Other random news. So I don't have a scale here, but I brought my measuring tape. And so I knew my measurements before I left the States because I had been working out and like taking measurements and everything. So I just took my measurements again this week, and since being here in Panama, I've lost like a total of 10 inches, like all around, most noticeably in my waist, which is where you want to lose weight. And when I went to the doctor, like the last week before swearing, I had lost 10 pounds. I haven't weighed myself again because I don't have a scale, but I'm looking for one, and whatnot. But I definitely feel like all my clothes are looser and whatnot. And I think because I don't really have a lot of access to snacks, and I don't eat a lot of snacks here, and because I just can't force myself to eat massive quantities of rice, yeah, I think I'm losing weight. I'm not by no means starving, just, yeah, losing weight. Which is a nice side effect, because a lot of people say that women especially, when they go into the Peace Corps, they gain weight. So it's nice to know I'm losing weight. I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm drinking like 3 bottles of water a day, and my water bottle is a liter. So that's 3 liters a day. And the most I drink outside of this is like a glass of orange juice or the random chicha that they give me when I go and visit with people, which I usually only drink a few sips of those because those are usually like fake fruit juices, and I hate fake fruit juices, and I can only force myself to drink a little bit. Because if you're gonna give me fruit juice, like give me real fruit juice. I don't want the fake stuff. I don't like that. But yeah. So there wasn't a lot of technical stuff this week. It was more meeting people, random adventures with chicken feet. Yeah. So we'll see how how this meeting goes on Tuesday. Yeah. So hope all is well in your world, and stay tuned for my next video, which I'm sure will have more adventures because this is my life now. And hasta luego.